I think many of you are aware, although I'm not sure, but I think many of you are aware that I play an occasional game of poker. I have games on the first Sunday of the month, the first Friday of the month, the third Friday of the month, the fifth Friday of the month, and every Monday of the month. That's what I mean when I say an occasional game of poker. Now, the game we play is a version of poker called No Limit Texas Hold'em. It's the Cadillac of poker. It takes a minute to learn, they say, and a lifetime to master. This is me playing at a 2019 World Series of Poker event. It was a $500 buy-in, not the $10,000 buy-in. Haven't played in that one yet. But it was a $500 buy-in. There were 6,800 people in that tournament. I finished in the top 1,972nd, I think. Made a little bit of money and enjoyed my time there. I host a game at my house on the third Friday of each month. $30 for the whole night, and that includes food and soft drinks. It's an open game, which means any of you can come and join us. I know you're out there thinking, I don't know, I play Texas Hold'em, but I'm not very good at it. I especially want you to come and join us. And bring your $30. As I said, we play No Limit Texas Hold'em. For those not familiar, let me give you a quick overview. You're dealt 2 cards in the hole. They don't always look that good. You're dealt 2 cards in the hole, and then eventually through a series of common cards being dealt, 5 community cards, the players take their 2 hole cards with the 5 community cards and make the best 5-card poker hand, and the winner scoops the pot. Now, what's unique about No Limit Texas Hold'em is that any time any player can declare all in, which means they're playing for all the chips that are in front of them at that moment. At the moment someone says, I'm all in, all their chips are vulnerable, everything is at risk. Now, why am I telling you all this? I'm not telling you this just to get more people at my Friday night games. I'm telling you this because Jesus is doing something very interesting in our parable today. This parable doesn't seem to be about a moral matter. It doesn't seem to be about a religious matter. No, in this parable, Jesus is taking his listeners into a world of harsh and even predatory practices, where the one who is not willing to risk it all, where the one who is not willing to go all in, cannot last. Jesus is talking here about God's plan for the world. It's a new thing created in the midst of an old way of living. In short, Jesus is speaking here about the kingdom of God. We know that because this parable comes toward the end of Matthew's gospel. Jesus has just told the parable of the 10 virgins, 5 of them wise and 5 of them foolish. And he begins that parable with the words, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins. And then he continues with our parable today when he says, it will be as a man going on a journey. And he says to them that the kingdom of God will not be won over by cowards. It will not be built by people who are immovable, or people who are constantly making themselves secure, or people who would rather delay than act. This new society will only survive with people who are ready to risk, people who are willing to wager everything on a single turn of the cards. This new society, this new way of living, this new way of being will only happen when people are willing to say, I'm all in. The Apostle James echoes this in James 1:22-25, when James tells us, be doers of the word and not hearers only, deluding yourselves. For if anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks at his own face in a mirror. He sees himself, then goes off quickly and forgets what he looks like. But the one who peers into the perfect law of freedom and perseveres, and is not a hearer who forgets, but a doer who acts, such a one will be blessed in what he does. Today's gospel is a call to action. Today's gospel is a call to take risk in order to lead more people to Jesus. And it will be accomplished not by people who simply sit in the pew Sunday after Sunday, but people who are willing to go out and work to build up the kingdom of God. Like a good poker player, you need to be willing to say, I'm all in, because those are the ones to whom Jesus will say, well done, my good and faithful servant.